So there was a scene in the movie that I wanted to talk to you about where they were discussing whether or not to allow the media in to see the actual test to make sure, like, because they didn't want to screw up in front of, you know, all these cameras and all these people. And what I was curious about was whether or not you felt any of that when you were shooting with your cameras. Did you sense that anyone was nervous because you were in there? Did you sense that anybody changed their behavior because, you know, they were in front of a camera, or did it feel like you were very accepting to you and the camera?
I was pretty lucky in that regard. I mean, well, I'd say either lucky or just persistent enough that they eventually began to forget. And actually, a lot of people thought I worked there by the end, that I was there so long. And I think that's what really also distinguished us from other people that were trying to film.
Yeah, I mean, it helped that you had a PhD too.
So A, it helped that I had a PhD. B, it helped that I had worked on feature films that they heard of. And C, that I kept coming back. And we made allies early that were really critical. So, you know, Fabiola was not the spokesperson when I started. She moved into that position. Mike Lamont was not the head of beam operations at the LHC. He moved into that position. And I had already established a certain trust. And, you know, the fact that they saw me as that I could understand the physics and I was making a film, not just a news clip, helped. I would say Fabiola did become more cautious when she became the spokesperson. She started worrying about how she would come across, or if she was going to reveal something. And there was one instance I know where I went to just an Atlas run control meeting, and the person who was the run control coordinator at that point, Martin, he could care less. He had a mic on, and Fabiola saw me in the back and went up to him and I told him to take the mic off. The others, though, were not. They were, very, very open about what was going on, and I think because I had the physics background, they trusted me, that they knew I was on their side, in a sense. They didn't think, oh, he's going to be coming in here looking for a scandal. They knew that, probably I was going to make them look as good as they possibly could.
There's also a factor in that is the culture of CERN itself, which is among those kind of places more open. They developed the World Wide Web there and just tossed it to the rest of the world. They don't patent things. They don't try to, grab hold of things. The dog in the manger is the last thing that you feel when you're there. It's very much kind of an open university of this particular subject.
I also say the postscript with Fabiola is the one scene that I was, of course, the most worried about was when they were sitting at the table and Katie Urkovich, the press officer, is whispering to her about what they're going to do, and Fabiola is telling her, no, this could be a disaster, we can't do this. And I was actually quite concerned when Fabiola would first see it, and Fabiola was the last of our characters to see the film. She, there was always a reason, but she didn't see it the first times it screened when everybody else saw it. And so the first time she saw it was at the premiere in New York at the Film Forum. And afterwards she came up to me and she said, Mark, I can't believe you captured that scene with me, with Katie. That's fantastic. And she says, but I don't understand because I took my mic off. And I said, yeah, but Martin had his mic on and we were picking you up from that. And she thought that was great.